This is the plan. First, we make our way up to the train. There's the girl now. She's reliable. Get the door shown.
What do you want, Mr. Buckley, sir?
Deliver this letter to Father Dempsey. Into his hands, no one else's, all right?
I will.
And I want you to go to the O'Neills in the back lane. Do you know the place?
I'm scared of those men, so I am.
You won't meet them. Post these letters in. Let no one see you. Here's a penny. What was that you were saying about a plan, Donal?
Fractured. A family, a nation, a dream. The 12th of April, 1922.
You're hardly leaving yet. Poor Brid hasn't been in.
I'm not leaving yet, Mammy. Sure, there's at least 40 minutes before the train. I'm on my way to Lizzie's is all.
If you ask me, she should be the one making it her business to wave you off.
She was only coming up from Sligo last night, Mammy. She was most likely tired and slept in. Or maybe she...
Oh yeah, well for her, sleeping it in.
I'll be back soon. If Colgan calls, tell him
We'll tell him where you are. Go on. Can you not just pretend to like the girl?
I was never an actor, Joseph. If it wasn't for that strap, he wouldn't even be thinking of joining the National Army.
Tomas doesn't do anything he doesn't want to. Rumour has it, he takes after his mother for that.
That's just... I've a terrible feeling about it all.
He'll be grand. And you can't stop the lad from living his life.
Sligo is awful far away, Joseph.
Sure, won't Sean be still here? And Mary?
Having one son won't replace the other.
Oh, don't go upsetting yourself.
I'm not upsetting myself. He's upset me. Him and Colgan and that Lizzie one turning his head. He was perfectly happy until she got her claws into him.
Yeah, he's perfectly happy now, Brigid. And don't you want that for him?
Happy? He's arguing with Sean night and day. And I know there's something wrong between him and Mary.
They'll come around.
How? If he walks into a room, Mary walks out. She's not even here to say goodbye. There was a time she would have cried her eyes out over him.
There's a blessing then. Bad enough you doing it.
I don't want him to go, Joseph. I don't want any of them to go anywhere anymore. Losing Moll...
Brigid. Come here.
I've tried to accept it, Joseph. I can't. My arms ache with all the mothering I want to give her. Half the time I'm walking about in a daze, still thinking that it's not real. The whole world is going on as if it is. And then it dawns on me over and over every day. Each day worse than the last that she's gone. Forever. In all my life, as long as I live, I have to accept that I will never see her smile again. Or hear her voice, or her laugh, or see her grow. She'll never grow up, Joseph.
Brigid.
Our little girl. She'll never kiss us again. Tomas will never call for Millie Molly May again. And her friends will move on and get married. And the loss of her will stab me afresh every time I see them. How can I be expected to bear such pain?
Yeah, I feel it too. I might not say it, but I feel it too.
And that's why for Tomas to go, it's tearing me up. I don't think I can bear it.
He'll return, so he will.
But I thought once the treaty was signed that it was over, that we could go back to what we were.
Tomas was never going to be happy running this place. I think deep down, we both know that.
But to join the army, Joseph, I couldn't bear to lose another one.
It will all settle down. You'll see.
Maybe if I explained to him how I feel about it.
You could. And he'd probably stay. And he'd be miserable.
Just for a while. But then he might settle into it.
The lad can't live his life to please you.
Aye.
Tomas would be wasted in the bar. He'll do well. And he'll be with Colgan.
Colgan is half cracked. Weren't you listening to Sean's stories about him at all up in Ballykinlar? He was making people go by false names to confuse the British. Then Sean said those same people were getting taken out and tortured. Not content with that, he was making the men into an army right in front of the English guards. Colgan just invites trouble in on his head.
Now, Brigid, he's not that bad.
He's worse. And I was talking to his mother Anne 3 days back. Her heart is broken between his brother Pierce and himself. And
Colgan is a grand lad.
does a grand lad go off running about the countryside and not a word to his mother for weeks on end?
You always liked him.
I never did. I'm not in the habit of liking troublemakers and rebels and...
You always said he was grand.
He's about as grand now, Joseph, as your arse.
And a very fine arse you have there too, Mr. Barry. Hello, Mrs. Barry.
Mr. Colgan.
And the boys up there will meet us in Broadstone.
That's grand. And will we have guns?
Yes, O'Reilly's getting them from Ellen Kenny.
O'Reilly's joining us.
He is.
And Milani.
He's needed in Selbridge. But my son Joe is coming.
Great.
Sinead wouldn't have said that. She'd have tried to lock him up. God rest her.
My mother'd do the same.
Yeah, Brigid was never one for the volunteers.
Never one for fighting unless she's at the centre of it.
She's a force, is Brigid Barry.
She is that.
Did you manage a goodbye to her today at all?
I've told Ellen Kenny to let her know when we're in Dublin.
You might regret it. In 16, I made every fella go home before we left.
And some of them weren't let back, I heard.
That's true. Did you manage a goodbye to Joseph, at least?
Sure, he'd only tell me mother. Anyway, what with Tomas joining the army, I left well enough alone. Now, enough. What's the plan once we're in Dublin?
I'm fierce sorry about you and Tomas.
He's a stubborn little fecker. Always was.
He probably says the same about you.
He says a lot worse. Is this where the Four Courts is on this map?
Yeah, that's it. The plan is to take it tonight, along with some other buildings around the city, in the hope that we can bring both factions of the IRA back together.
It's a miracle you'll need for that. The split's getting terrible, so it is. I've read of houses being raided for arms and people being shot dead.
Which is why we need some decisive action now to force things.
How will that work, though?
Think about it. The British will hate it, us taking over an important building like the Four Courts. They'll demand action. And sure, Michael Collins is never going to use the new army to shell his old comrades.
He believes in the treaty.
So does your brother. Would he shell you?
I suppose not.
There you are then. We're all Irishmen, all brothers. Conor believes that the British will most likely take it on themselves to shell us.
No Irishman would let that happen.
The boy has got it.
And we'll be united.
Mahan Buchel. Now, look here at this map of the Four Courts. There's 4 buildings on the site. The Four Courts proper, the North Block, the Public Records Office and the Land Registry. Our headquarters, according to GHQ, will be right here, on the edge of the North Block.
So any shelling from the Bridewell police station...
Across the road.
We'll have to go through the Land Registry building before it hits us.
Lovely and simple.
It's brilliant. How are we getting in?
Word is there'll only be 1 policeman.
1?
The poor devil won't know what hit him. We'll go in late. Some of the boys will scale the railings, take him prisoner and let the rest of us into the building.
And we'll be fortifying the place.
Yep. All the windows will be barricaded and defended.
Supplies?
That's what I've you down for. While I'm getting into the Four Courts, you'll be with another group. It's riskier. You'll be taken to the Four Courts Hotel here, and you can raid their stocks. Take everything you can.
No better man for getting food.
An army marches on its stomach.
It'll be a grand adventure.
You make a martyr of my son Patrick Colgan, and I'll be after you, so I will.
He's only joining the new National Army, Mrs. Barry. Not nailing himself to a cross.
May God forgive you for that.
Is the martyr in, is he? I don't have much time.
He's gone to visit Lizzie to say his goodbyes. A fine girl she is, lying in bed half the day and her sweetheart going into the army.
When he gets back, tell him I'll meet him at the station on the quarter hour.
We will.
He'll be grand, Mrs. Barry. I give you my word.
Aye.
Thanks, Pat. Be safe yourself now, too.
I will. Goodbye now.
Hello, Pat. Are you off today too?
I am, Mrs. O'Sullivan. Come in there now and I'll close the door after you.
Grand, grand. The best of luck to you, Pat. Come on in, Colin. Oh, I got held up terrible in Donald Buckley's, Brigid. He had the shop closed early, so I had to go further afield to get the tablets for Mr. O'Sullivan's indigestion. Anyway, that's by the by. Where's the soldier?
Gone to get Lizzie O'Neill out of her bed. She couldn't even bother herself to come over and say goodbye, and her professing undying love.
Brigid, now
Is she back from Sligo? Her brother was storming up the main street just now. He got a letter to say she's gone for good.
I wouldn't blame the girl staying away from those boyos. Maybe that's why she wasn't over, eh, Brigid?
Aye, maybe.
Wait until you see what Colm has made for Tomas.
You made something for Tomas, Colm. Aren't you the great chap?
Show them there now, Colm. Isn't that marvellous now? That's Tomas with the gun, and that's the enemy lying bleeding on the ground with his guts out. Wouldn't you know exactly what it is?
It's fairly graphic, all right.
Very nice, Colm.
He's a dab hand with the pencil. You'd want to see the drawing he did of the dead cat last week. The detail on the maggots was amazing.
There he is now, Brid. Tomas, Pat Colgan was in looking for you. He said he'd meet you at the quarter hour down at the station.
Aye, I met him coming up the way with another lad. I'll go upstairs and get my things.
Would you not say hello to Brid? She called in to wish you the best. Colm has a present for you.
Hello, Brid. Sorry, a present for me, have you, Colm? Oh, that's a great drawing altogether. Thanks, Colm.
You'll be missed behind that bar, Tomas Barry. Come here and give me a hug.
I'll miss you, Brid, but I'll be back.
Aye.
Next time you see me, I'll be in a proper uniform.
I'll have to learn to salute.
You will.
I'd best be off. Mr. O'Sullivan is waiting on his tablets. You take care. Do you hear now?
You too. And Colm, be a good boy for your mammy. Do everything she tells you, just like I did when I was a lad.
You better hurry up, Tomas. Time is getting on.
Aye.
Now, Tomas.
Aye.
Is everything all right, son?
I just thought you should know that I won't be going to Sligo now. I'll be staying in the Curragh.
But your heart was set in Sligo. I hope you're not doing this for me, Tomas. You have to go to Sligo.
No, I don't, Mammy. I have to go where I'm wanted.
What?
What's going on?
I'm not talking about it.
Word has it that some of the civic guards will mutiny and give over their weapons.
Marvellous.
We could be there for the long haul.
I don't mind once we get a result.
I'd say that's O'Reilly. Let him in there.
I ran slap bang into Dwyer on the way here, and me with the guns hidden in my pockets.
Ah, what odds? His sort don't count for anything anymore.
He's leaving Kildare soon by all accounts.
And good riddance. That's some selection of arms you have there.
That Ellen Kenny is a fine soldier. She has bundles of them buried all over the college.
I hope you weren't seen. College is about to come down hard on us, I hear.
They were never really behind us. All that support was just because the rest of the world approved. But no, we weren't seen. Here, Sean, that's yours. UaBuachalla, there you go. Take an extra one for Joe.
Mahagot. I have to ask, did you sort out the O'Neill girl, Sean?
I did. She admitted all.
Did Tomas have an inkling, do you think?
I'll not dignify that with an answer.
I mean, no offence.
You've just accused my brother of being a traitor.
You've got to wonder.
Do you? Do you wonder, Donal?
Tomas is a fine boy, a good soldier.
If he's a good soldier, where is he now?
Doing what he thinks is right.
And maybe he thought siding with that loudmouth Lizzie was right too, eh?
He knew nothing about Lizzie. He still doesn't.
You never told him.
There wasn't any point to it.
She ruined a lot of ambushes. Mossy Kintle was killed in her place.
Maybe Mossy was an informer as well. You weren't too quick at finding the mole, were you?
Because your brother, he was the one who told us to hold off. Told us to plant false information to see if we could catch the fecker. And in the meantime, Lizzie is ruining it all. I just think questions.
The girl was exposed and dealt with, isn't that enough?
Aye. And for your information, she swore to me Tomas had nothing to do with anything.
She would say that though.
She was telling the truth. My brother...
I hope you made no allowance for her on the account of your brother.
She's gone. I can guarantee it.
And when did this all take place? I saw her not 3 weeks ago, bold as brass, flaunting herself around town.
It took place less than 3 weeks ago. She's gone, I said.
Didn't her brothers come into the shop yesterday, moaning that she'd taken off, wondering how they were going to manage it all?
They think for the moment that she's at her auntie's in Sligo.
And Tomas?
Same.
I wouldn't want to be around when everyone finds out the truth.
That's taken care of too. Should happen any time now. There's a girl delivering a few letters to them.
Good man, Sean. Now,
She was one of our best women.
or one of the worst, depending on which way you look at it.
Aye.
Let's just put it behind us. Focus on what we're doing now.
Instead of looking for trouble by bringing it up.
Sean,
Sorry, it's just...
I'm sorry too, alright? Look, I never quite understood Tomas, if I'm being honest.
and there's no law says people have to get on with each other or understand each other, but we have to have each other's backs.
Aye. Shake on that. There's an end to it now.
Aye.
No hard feelings.
No.
And if this works out, we'll all be together again.
Did you say your goodbyes, O'Reilly?
My what?
Your goodbyes to your family and that.
Ah, no.
This could be a long haul.
Sure, who would I say goodbye to?
I thought you had parents and a little sister.
I had 3 sisters, Donal, and they died. One after the other in 1918 with the Spanish flu. My parents as well. God rest them.
You never said.
Aye, well, there's not much point dwelling on it now. The youngest girl, God, she wasn't much older than your Moll.
Your parents would be proud of what you've done for the cause, I'd say.
I'd like to think so, but they were simple people. Not political at all.
Well, what made you...
Well, after they died, I thought, what sort of a feckin' country is this where all the people are so grateful for a leaky roof and a bit of land? I felt they should have had more.
They should have had.
And they would have had if the Irish had governed the Irish. It's foolishness to expect a foreign invader to care about us.
Right you are. Show me the plans. Is this the forecourts?
It has to be that Lizzie one, huh? Why else would he stay up here? I'll brain her.
What's the matter?
Do you have any idea why Tomas has suddenly decided to stay here instead of going to Sligo, Mary?
I'm only here to collect my sandwich.
I don't know what happened between the two of you, but I know you should at least wish your brother the best in his new life.
You're right, Mammy. You don't know what's happened.
He was your pet. Do you not remember? He'd follow you everywhere.
He was 3, Mammy. He grew up. Now, can I get my sandwich or not?
There's something up, Mary. He's not going to Sligo and he won't say why. He'll talk to you if you ask him.
I don't want to ask him.
Do it for me, Mary, please. Haven't I been through enough? I need to know what's upset him.
That's not fair, asking me to talk to him.
Maybe not.
I'll see what I can do.
And then the lads had come... Who is it?
It's myself, Father Dempsey, Donal.
Oh, grand. You got my letter, Father?
Well, it just said to come at once that you had a request to make of me.
Yes, but you must keep it to yourself, Father.
If this is some fool's errand to go kill more people, that I do not wish to know.
It's an errand to unite people, Father.
You don't unite with guns, Sean Barry.
Hear us out, Father. Tonight, a number of men opposed to the treaty are planning to take over a number of buildings in Dublin city centre. It will be done as peacefully as possible.
Whatever for? We have peace now. We have a treaty now.
We have an army split down the middle, Father. We have 2 factions of Irishmen trying to run the country. We need to unite them.
By taking over buildings? Causing trouble?
There'll be no trouble, Father. Not unless it's from the other side.
You expect McCollins and his new army to do nothing?
We expect the British to act, Father, and there is no way our pro-treaty old army comrades will stand for it.
Then you underestimate the support for this peace, boys. What am I doing here?
We want to ask for your blessing.
Absolutely not. No.
Why?
Because we live in a democracy, boys. We have fought for this democracy, and in the democratic Dáil, your Dáil, Donal, the government of this country voted for the treaty.
By a slim majority who are running scared of the British.
In your mind. In mine, they are men who want peace, who want this country to start building herself up again.
We can never do that under the terms of the treaty as they are now.
Your fellow politicians are not stupid. They're as informed as you are. What De Valera is doing is utter madness.
Trying to save us from becoming British subject is utter madness, is it?
What is needed now is rational debate, not more war.
And we will have that debate. In time.
What you and these men are doing is taking action without any authority from the state. You have no moral right to do that. It's a military dictatorship and is an insult to civil liberties.
Taking over the forecourts is not an act of war. Rory O'Connor has assured us of that.
Oh, pull the other one. If your side is angry about anything, let it be the atrocities in Belfast. Catholics are being attacked, being burnt out.
Will you bless us or not, Father?
I will not.
Then you better go.
If you kill anyone, it'll be murder.
It wasn't murder to kill 6 months ago, Father.
How can it be murder to kill an Irishman and not an Englishman? Does the sin of murder have a nationality now?
You know fine well it doesn't. But if a reasonable peace is offered, then it should be explored. And killing people is not acceptable unless it's been given a chance. Sean, this'll break your mother's heart.
I can't live my life to please my mother, Father.
I buried little Molla Bear 4 months ago.
I know what you did, and I wish I thought different. But this is how I feel, Father. I can't deny my conscience.
And I can't deny mine. There has been too much loss. Have any of you any idea what it is to sit in a confessional and listen to your flock ask forgiveness for the most grievous of sins? It almost destroyed me. Day after day I had to give that absolution. I gave it because there was no alternative to what these boys and girls were doing. But now there is. There is a way, and we have to try and make it work. I will not condone another killing.
I thought your sword weren't meant to judge, Father.
I have never judged. Just tried to understand. With understanding comes forgiveness, but this...
Then you'll understand how we feel, Father, when we try and fail to understand the logic of the other side.
You will damn your souls.
But in the process, hopefully, we will free Ireland.
Oh, aye. Turn your backs on me, on peace, on the church. You will destroy this country. Do you hear me? Do you? So be it.
I can't find my Bible, so I took yours, Mammy. Is that all right? Mary,
Tomas?
I'm heading away now.
Aye.
Is there a chance, Mary, that we
Don't
could
be
talk?
afraid to come back if you don't like it, Tomas. There'll always be a bed here for you.
Thanks, Mammy.
And Sligo, just if
Me
you
and your
need-
mother will see you down at the station, Tomas. Come on, Brigid.
Yep, my purse.
Don't
it's-
be worrying about your purse. I've got money here. Come on. See you soon, son.
Do you remember how that nick in the bar happened?
Aye.
You had me on your back and you fell and I hit
I remember, I said.
And then the glasses behind the bar all smashed and I told Mammy that it was my fault, my idea.
Weren't you the great lad?
And Mammy smacked me from one end of the pub to the other, my head streaming in blood from the glass.
Aye.
What I'm trying to say, Mary, is that I would have laid down and died for you.
I don't want to talk about any of this.
I'm so sorry, Mary.
You've said that.
And I'll keep saying it until you forgive me.
Why aren't you going to Sligo?
What?
Mammy said you weren't going to Sligo now.
That's true.
You were going not 4 hours ago.
That's true too.
Are you staying for Mammy?
No, but I thought she'd be pleased.
She's worried is what she is. 1 minute you're swanning off west and the next you're staying in Kildare. What are you trying to do to her?
Nothing.
Is it something to do with Lizzie O'Neill? What is it, Tomas?
Her brother got this letter this morning. I don't understand.
Dear Tomas, really sorry. Not coming back. Met a man. She met a man. Jesus.
A farmer from Donegal, she says.
But I thought that...
So did I.
Oh, Tomas.
I don't believe she wrote it.
Yeah, but sure, who else?
I don't know. Something is just not right.
Like what?
I don't know.
Lizzie was never, you know...
What?
The most reliable girl.
She was different with me.
Maybe you think so, but...
I know so. She was different with me. We were getting married.
Aye, maybe you were, but then a better prospect came along. That's just Lizzie.
No, that's not just her.
Wake up, Tomas. She was chasing Sean for ages, and then when he was put away, she was after you.
She was never chasing Sean.
She was so. Me and Sissy used to laugh at the way she'd be waiting outside the pub with her tongue hanging out after him.
Shut up, Mary.
Lizzie O'Neill liked the soldiers. Everyone knew that.
Not me.
Then you're a fool.
You know nothing about the real Lizzie.
By the looks of this, you didn't know her too well yourself.
Just go.
Now you know how I feel. You thought you'd have a lovely life with the person you love, and bang. All gone. Enjoy feeling like that, Tomas.
Tonight we man the barn and well in Erin's cause come war with mid cannons roar and rifles peal. We'll chant a soldier's song.
Ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Met a man. Oh, God, Lizzie.
Tomas, Barry, hurry up, would you?
Coming, Colgan.
Come on, then. The train won't wait forever, and neither will I.
And I'm done waiting too. I'm ready, Colgan. I'm ready.
In June 1922, Michael Collins and the Free State Army bombed the Four Courts, which was being occupied by anti-treaty members of the IRA. This started a bloody civil war, pitching brother against brother. Fractured. A family, a nation, a dream. Fractured is a Down at Heel production. All episodes were written by Joe Bergen, Brendan Farrell, Claire Joyce and Martina Riley. Sound engineer is Brendan Farrell. Fractured is supported by Kildare County Council through a bursary from Creative Ireland. It is also supported by the County Kildare Decade of Commemorations programme and the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts, Gaeltacht, Sport and Media under the Decade of Centenaries 2012 to 2023 initiative.